Hi, and welcome to another look at what's for dinner. In this video, you are about to see a new recipe of Copycat Hamburger Helper. It was delicious. Be sure and add this one to your meal plan. I made some chicken Phillies. If you've never heard of those, stay tuned. I also made some nacho totchos. That was a delicious appetizer. I finally got a hold of one of the Motor City pizzas and a yummy Greek salad I made to go along with that. And at the end, we have got some brisket nachos with homemade pico. That was the bomb. If this sounds good to you, stay tuned and we're going to jump straight on into the video. Hello everyone, tonight we are making a Copycat Hamburger Helper. My husband loves Hamburger Helper and I rarely make it. So I have all the stuff to make this recipe. I just looked it up online. I will have it linked below. And here are the ingredients you're going to need. You're going to need some flour, salt and pepper. We're going to need some beef broth, which I'm going to use this broth base there to make it. We are going to need paprika and Italian seasoning. It calls for tomato sauce, but I've also seen plenty of these copycats that use tomato soup. So I'm going to use a can of tomato soup. We have our pasta that I'm going to be using there. I'm going to also need some milk, some fresh onion and garlic, and then some cheese. And I'm going to shred up this extra sharp cheddar. So that is it. That's all I need besides my ground beef. And I'm getting ready to brown that up now. And we're going to pull this thing together. And it's going to be pretty tasty, I think. So stay tuned. Okay, I browned my ground beef here just a little bit ago. And I went ahead and turned the heat off while I was finishing up some things. And now I am ready to add in my onion and garlic. And I'm going to saute that together for about 5 minutes. Now we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of flour, and you're going to cook this for about a minute. Next, I'm pouring in 2 cups of beef broth. I'm going to give that a stir. Smells really delicious. Now I'm adding in my can of tomato soup. And we've got a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, a half teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to shake in some black pepper, and now I'm just going to add in my pasta, my cheese, and my milk. So in goes the pasta. This is already cooked. I just went ahead and boiled this in a different kettle. But you certainly could make it all together, and I would have, but I prepared the meat mixture ahead of time. Alright, there's the pasta. Half a cup of milk. And I shredded up all of that cheese. I have 2 cups of shredded cheddar. It's actually extra sharp cheddar. I'm imagining this is going to be so tasty in this dish. like I said, I prepared my meat mixture ahead of time, and instead of just heating that whole thing through, I mean, that would have been a lot to get the meat mixture hot enough to cook the noodles. So I just cooked the noodles in a separate pot, and now we're just stirring it together. Look at this. Wow, this looks really good. From start to finish, this would be a really quick meal. So much healthier than buying the box, because you've pretty much, you know, you've put in all of your own ingredients and you know what all of those are. No preservatives necessarily like you would get in the box mix. And there you have it. I have just cooked up some corn there. I put some Trader Joe's onion salt and some butter. And that's going to be our side, along with some fresh bread that we got at the Amish store. Alright, and there is my plate. We've got the homemade Copycat Hamburger helper, some buttered corn, and this bread. Look at this. We stopped at an Amish store. We didn't even know that it was there. We were stopping as we were traveling to fuel up our vehicle, and across the road there was an Amish store, so we bought a loaf, actually 2 loaves of sourdough bread that was warm right out of the oven. So I just put some butter on that, and that is what we are having for dinner tonight. I'm really thinking we're gonna like this. I sampled a little bit and I think it's gonna be really good. I just wanted to pop back on here and say how really delicious this was. I think the key ingredients were the tomato soup and the extra sharp cheddar cheese. They really, I think, made this dish over the top. I'll definitely make this one again, and I highly recommend you giving this a try if you think this looks good at all. It was really tasty. Alright, tonight for dinner I am making chicken Phillies. Here are my onions that I've been caramelizing in my skillet and just a little bit of butter. I'm going to add in my chicken after I get it seasoned and some peppers. So let me show you the chicken. I have 1 large boneless, skinless chicken breast that I have cubed up to, I don't know, just little squares about like that is what I thought might be the right size. And then to this, I'm going to use this Chop House steak seasoning. It's really just a good general blend of things that we really like. So that's what I'm going to put on here. And then, because we love garlic, I'm going to go in with some extra garlic powder here. So I'm going to just sprinkle liberally over top of the chicken, and I'm going to add it into the onions. Like I said, I'm making chicken Phillies. So basically like a Philly cheesesteak, only I'm going for chicken. And we're calling them chicken Phillies. So let's get going on the seasoning here.
Oh! He did his bang roll. Watch him. Look how far he will go. Watch how far he will go.
Okay, here's my chicken in with the onions. This has just been sauteing here, I'd say about 10 minutes or so. You can see some pieces of the chicken look like it's still not quite done completely. But now I'm going to go ahead and add in my peppers. The reason I didn't do those in the beginning is that my peppers are frozen. I had a big bag from Costco and I wasn't able to use all of them in time, so I just cut those into slices and put them in the freezer. And so I wanted this that wasn't frozen to go first. And then now I'm going to add in the frozen peppers. And look how colorful this is now with all the peppers in. I'm preparing this just a little bit earlier than what I need it. So I'm going to actually, I've got the heat off. I'm going to pop a lid on this. And then here in just a little bit when we're ready for it, I can reheat it. And then I'll start working on the buns and the cheese to make these chicken Philly sandwiches. right, and in my air fryer, I have fried up some little crispy rounds, basically tater tots, and I decided to make James a little appetizer of nacho tachos. So basically, I had some ground beef that was seasoned up for nachos, a meal we had earlier in the week. I just mixed that in with some of that white queso, microwaved that, put a little Cholula on top and some banana pepper rings, and I served this to him as a little appetizer while I was getting the rest of the sandwiches made, and he loved it. He said it was delicious, and I can only imagine it was. And now we are back to the sandwiches. Look at that cheesy deliciousness. I wanted to melt the cheese on there so that way it would kind of already adhere a little bit to the meat and the veggies when I put them in the buns like this. So it worked out great. Yes, stringy mozzarella cheese, that's always a win. So yeah, I just put this meat mixture with the veggies on my sandwich, added on a few banana pepper rings, and then I'm going to take the sandwich and put it into the air fryer. Now that the tater tots are out, you see my tater tots on my plate there. I just had some plain ones alongside, but I stuck the sandwich in the air fryer just enough to crisp up the bread. Did not take long at all, just a few minutes, and it was perfect. This meal was so delicious. Like I said, I just served it alongside some little crispy round tater tots there. It was so, so good. This is a look at James because he already had his little appetizer of his tater tots, but we absolutely love this, and I will be making this one again soon. Okay, we were so happy when we finally found a Motor City pizza. I had looked for those multiple times after watching Moss Family TV's little pizza challenge, and this one was their winner of the frozen pizzas that they tried, and I just couldn't find this one anywhere, but I finally did. I found it at Walmart. I just doctored it up on the top with some banana pepper rings and some red onion because I had those things handy and we like that on pizza. It comes in this thick baking tray. And you just put it in the oven in that tray. And then I made us a Greek salad to go along with it. Look how yummy that is with the feta and some Kalamata olives. And then the first time to try this Mediterranean dressing that I got at Aldi, it made a perfect Greek salad. We really loved this alongside the pizza. And here it is out of the oven. This really, really does taste like a restaurant pizza. We highly recommend it. This is, I think, the 3 meat. And so yes, I would definitely recommend these, and I'll definitely pick it up again if I can find it again. It was a very quick and easy meal that tasted great. And for the last meal I'm going to show you is nachos. And these are just not any ordinary nachos. These are beef brisket nachos. I heated up this market side Walmart brand queso blanco, which we really enjoyed, topped the chips, and then I had made a package of Mexican rice by Knorr, and we really, really love the Mexican rice by Knorr. I just put a little bit of that on top, and then look at this beautiful barbecue beef brisket. I don't have any footage of that. My husband James smoked that on our smoker the day before this, and I was actually gone all day, and he was here and had that on the smoker all day. So this is actually leftovers, finishing up some of that brisket, and what a great way to use it, turning it into my meat topping for my nachos. And then the star of the show, besides the beef brisket, was this delicious pico that I made. I just diced up fresh tomato, red onion, cilantro. I didn't have any lime, so I just squeezed over fresh lemon juice. I put in some garlic, some salt and pepper. This, I could have just eaten the whole little bowl. The pico was so, so good. So I just topped that on. We've kind of been on a nachos kick around here. There's so many ways and variations for nachos. You can just make them different every time. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, please do so. I'm close to 5,000. I would love to get there. I appreciate every time you watch. If you enjoy this, give it a thumbs up. Come back the next time, and we will see you on the next What's for Dinner.